Matt here with Not Just Giants for the final preview of the 2023 season as we strap ourselves in for this Week 18 contest against the dreaded Eagles at home. Last year, when the Giants clinched a playoff spot and had nothing to play for, they rested starters, played Davis Webb at QB, and gave the fans an inspired performance against the Eagles starters in a hard-fought 22-18 loss before getting curb stomped 38-7 in the division round of the playoffs against Philly when it was starters versus starters. In this game, an Eagles win and an unlikely Cowboys loss to the Commanders in Washington would earn Philly the NFC East crown. So they do have something to play for. And after coming off a bad home loss to the lowly Cardinals, the Eagles, no matter what happens in Washington, may believe they need to play 4 strong quarters to start feeling better about themselves as they head into the playoffs. Meanwhile, if the Giants beat the Eagles, at the end of the season, despite having a disappointing year overall, at least they'll be able to point to their 3-3 division record as a sign of improvement over last year's 1-5 mark, and end the year on a high note by beating a hated rival that has for years had their number. But if they do manage to pull off the win, as soon as the dopamine hit wears off, we'll no doubt start griping about our diminished draft position. So for me, the optimal scenario for the Giants would be a similar outcome to the game against the Rams, a well-played, close loss that shows we're competitive, but preserves or even improves our draft position. A win is simply too costly when we're seriously mulling over the possibility of drafting a franchise quarterback. As far as analysis goes in this game, I think from the Giants' perspective, if Philly plays their starting O-line all game, New York will want to come away from this game knowing they're capable of stopping the Eagles' rushing attack, which is a feat they've miserably failed at for years. It would also be criminally negligent for New York not to attack Philly's weak secondary deep down the field. They did this a little bit in the Week 16 game, but not nearly enough. The deep ball is a strength for Tyrod and a strength for Slayton and Hyatt, so why not lean into it more? Since there's absolutely nothing to lose in this game, go for the jugular. This week, with the injuries to Tyreek Phillips and Evan Neal, the Giants will be shorthanded at right tackle, so look for the Eagles to test Matt Peart with stunts and edge pressure off the Giants' right side throughout the game. Big wild card here in terms of how this game plays out is the way Coach Daboll chooses to use his players. Will starters play the full game? That would seem silly to do, and I don't expect to see it. If it was up to me, I'd play starters for a quarter, at most a half, and then insert the backups in a game the Giants have far more to gain from losing than winning, and one which can at least be useful from an evaluation perspective. Thanks to everyone for listening and supporting this channel. There'll be plenty of off-season content to get into, so stay tuned and let's go!